Welcome to the Take Care Sis podcast with me, Ki and Kiki.
Join two friends for a conversation around self-care in real life. We'll talk about anything on the spectrum from bubble baths to setting boundaries to managing friendships and more.
As your sisters, we also just want to provide a weekly check-in. You know, like big sis asking little sis, sis, you good? So come on in, sis. Let's talk about how we can take better care of ourselves. Hey, Kiki.
Hey, Ki. How are you?
I'm okay today.
Just okay?
Yeah. So, I am going to share with the world. You know, I'm usually a little bit more private, but I'll share with the world why we had to take a little break last week. My great aunt died. I watched my great aunt, who was on life support. I watched her take her last breath. So when I tell y'all to take a breath, or when I say just breathe, it literally brings new life into that statement for me, and into the concept. So that's why we took our break. And that's what I've been dealing with. And her funeral was yesterday. And so, yes, today I am just okay.
I understand. It's never easy watching the people you love just kind of go away or leave you.
Right.
Never.
Right. And you never have enough time. I'm in a space where I'm just like, I just wish I could have had one more conversation about this, or I wish she would have had more time to tell me about this, right? There's just never enough time. So y'all spend time with the people who give a shit about you. That's all I got. How are you, friend?
I'm okay. While you were out dealing with the grief cycle, I was out. I don't know how I sprained my ankle, but it's here.
How did you sprain your ankle, friend? I'm
I
not
don't
laughing
know.
at you. I'm laughing with you.
I really don't know. I woke up one day and so this week, I went to the doctor. I went to the ENT because I told y'all weeks ago that I had vertigo, and I'm still trying to figure out what the hell to do with that. So I have to go back again for another test of balance because that whole appointment was a whole waste of time. But anyway, gotta go back for another test for that. And that morning I woke up and my ankle was just like not having it. Not having it. So I was like, can't put pressure on it. This is ridiculous. I'm like hopping to the doctor's office and I'm trying to hop everywhere else. So I hop my ass into work and I sit there for like an hour. I wait till one of my managers comes back and I'm like, can I go home? Because I can't do this. I've been hopping all day and I need to go elevate my foot. So I hop my ass back home. And I was home Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Will they let you work from home?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Well, we work from home on Wednesdays anyway, but Tuesday I was like, I can't sit here because I don't have anything. Like my ankle is fucking hurting. I cannot sit here. So I left, and Wednesday we work from home. Thursday, I had a doctor's note that said I could stay home, so I just asked, can I just work from home again? And luckily, it's not a busy week, so it didn't really like put me behind. I didn't feel like I was gonna miss a lot anyway. I went back Friday. Like it's starting to feel better, but I'm still having to like, of course, like elevate it. I wrap it up like compression, and then I ice it and all that stuff. Girl, I really don't know. And then everybody's like telling me you're just getting older. I'm like, girl, no,
No one
don't
wants to
say
hear that. Please stop saying it.
I told my friend, I was like, don't curse at me with that O word. I am not getting older. So
Nope. Here's a public service announcement. No one wants to hear that. No one wants to hear, oh, you're just getting older. Like, deal with it. No one wants to hear that. Stop saying it.
girl, I'm just like, I really don't know what I did. So I had to cancel both of the yoga classes. So last week was the week before was supposed to be the last time I taught the yoga classes at Kinetic. my friend came back and she was like, do you have the flexibility to teach this week? And I was like, yeah, I got you. Because she had some other personal stuff to deal with. And so like Tuesday comes and I'm hopping my ass around. I said, I can't go here. I text the owner, was like, hey, I cannot come tonight. And then come to find out, he didn't text me back until after hours and was like, I was out sick today. I was like, well, what is going on?
Oh, wow.
I was like, what is going on today? But so I had to cancel both of those classes that I was unexpectedly supposed to teach. So
Yikes.
here we are. Nice, ready to go into the next week. It's okay today, but I'm still like elevating it and trying to
You're
take care of it.
Are you?
Huh?
You're not teaching next week, are you?
No,
That's good. That's really good.
not that serious. Luckily, my regular classes, I can just talk and teach and they'll do what I say. So
Gotcha. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is real life examples of falling back for self-care. Because you got to make time to grieve and you got to make time to care for ankles that don't want to do what you want them to do.
girl, let me tell you, I was like trying to take a shower with a hurt ankle. I was like, this ain't it. So I'm like just holding on to everything. Let me sit over here. Let me sit on the edge of the tub. I'm legit feeling like an old lady.
Let me get to a shower seat, friend.
I called my grandma and was like, can I borrow your cane? Helen was like, girl.
Now how I'm gonna get around?
She was like, sure. Girl, she don't be using that cane. Even when she needs to, she don't be using it. She hard headed. So but anyway, yeah, you're right. Real life examples of self care. Last week for the episode, I just did literally, like you said, take a breath. That's what the episode was. So if y'all need that breath, need a couple breaths, like just full, complete breaths, go and listen to that episode. It's only 5 minutes. You can sit where you are and take your breaths. And that's it.
Take your breaths, people.
All right. So, oh yeah, as we talked about last week's episode, the week before we talked about maybe you're in the wrong space, and that was just basically talking about pivot points, the point where you knew you had to turn around and do something new, or you had to change what you were doing. So that was that in a nutshell. If you haven't listened to the episode, go ahead and go and catch up on it.
Go listen.
Yes, ma'am. And we are still telling y'all about these ratings and reviews. Now, I'm not gonna get on y'all this week because I really haven't checked them, but I'm just gonna imagine that y'all haven't done anything. So I'm just gonna imagine that y'all have looked at your phone while you're listening to this and like, girl, I already did a review. But it's still open. You can still give us 5 stars. You can still say, hey. You can still leave a good review other than hey. We need it, y'all.
Hey.
Yeah, we need it. This is what helps us get seen, because in the podcast world, we don't really go off of views and all of the other things that we depend on other social networks. The ratings help us, especially on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So
We need these ratings, people. Please and thank you.
thank you. Mm-hmm. All right, friend. We already talked about what you did for self-care last week. Talked about what I did for self-care last week. So that leads us into we're taking a break, y'all. After this episode, we're taking a little short break because we need to regroup and we need to get some planning things done, and we both still rebranding. So a break is more than necessary. But also during this break, I'm going to pick a few of our favorite episodes and we're just going to give them to y'all again. So if you need to go back and listen a second time, that'll be a good time to do it. Or if you just need to get caught up on all the episodes, this will be a good time to do it. We got 25 episodes for y'all to listen to and catch up on. Okay?
Yep. So one of the major things that Kiki and I are going to be taking care of during this break is we try to be uber official, y'all. Uber official. Meaning we're trying to take this into business mode. So our first order of business is going to be, we are going to host a super mini wellness retreat, but it's going to be called a day of rest. And it's going to be October 16th in Fayetteville, North Carolina. So you are going to be able to enjoy some rest. Okay, you're going to be able to enjoy some organized rest. October 16th in Fayetteville. So tickets will go on sale for this event in September. And the event will happen in October. And this is going to be the first of many. So buckle up and make sure you attend. That's all I got.
That's right. That's what we'll be working on, y'all. And hopefully when we come back next for our next iteration of this podcast, we'll have some surprises for y'all. Maybe y'all get to see our faces. Maybe not. We'll see.
The introvert is screaming.
Yeah, it is. But just think, people will love to see our lovely faces because we cute. Why are you looking like that? It's the truth. We cute.
I mean, we are.
Mm-hmm.
But the introvert in me is still screaming.
It's only for an hour, friend.
Listen, y'all gotta understand that this girl came to me about a podcast last year, and I was like, yes, because this is what the Aries in me does. The Aries in me is like, yes, let's do all the things, right? I had no really idea how much work this was going to be, how time consuming it was going to be, and how much of my life I was actually going to be talking about. And as Kiki likes to remind me, I'm still pretty private because I'm not finna tell y'all all my business, but I do tell y'all quite a lot. So now showing my face is that extra element, and it's slightly frightening. But it is what it is. But let me just take this moment to say, Kiki, I truly appreciate you and your partnership. Again, you took me from, I had no clue about podcasts. I listened to a few. And now I'm a whole podcaster. And a lot to do with you pushing me, you making me step outside my comfort zone, getting on my nerves, all of that, all of the fun stuff, all of that. But no, like, you're an amazing yin to my yang, and I thank you, friend.
Oh, so sweet. I know that's not going to happen again, so I'm just going to take it right now. Thank you.
She knows me so well.
So yeah, y'all, that's what our break is for. We're just going to get some business things together, and we're going to be creating some new episodes for y'all. You might get a little bit more into our business. Yeah, I know. Key's face. See, this is why we're doing the video, because y'all got to see the faces she be making at me. Because, y'all can hear it, but seeing it is just that much better.
Come off camera when you be getting into your super ways. How am I gonna come off camera if we in person? I'm gonna wear a hoodie. That's what it is. I'm gonna wear a hoodie. I'm gonna just throw my hoodie on.
I'm taking all them hoodies away from you. I'm gonna find them and I'm gonna take them away. What is it that what's that movie Taken with Liam Neeson? Is that he's like, I'm gonna find you and I'm gonna get you. That's what I do with your hoodies. I'm gonna find your hoodies and I'm gonna take them.
Oh gosh.
All right. Let's get into the horticulture segment. You want to sing to us?
Listen, I turned in this video to Black Food Fridays. I was singing in the video. I don't know. I can't even sing, so I should probably stop, but it's really funny and it's expressive. It's my happy place. If I can't do a happy dance because I'm finna eat, I'm going to sing about it.
Oh my God.
For the culture.
All right. So what we talking about today, friend?
Listen, let's go back. Let's revisit. Talk about again. Beyoncé and Kelis.
Oh Lord, this whole debacle just gets more and more interesting by the minute, doesn't it?
There are so many life lessons here. I'm gonna say the life lesson for me that I took out of it is humble yourself. Humble yourself. So I don't know if you're team Kelis, team Beyonce. That's really not my point here, but I am gonna say that Kelis, she gets her credit for the things that she's done. Go girl. But here you are, like, another woman paid homage to you. And while I get that this other woman is about to profit off of her paying homage to you, still, right? Like, karma and the universe and whatever higher power, like, at some point you're here to serve. And so, like, you put out this great music, you inspired others. And whereas you might have inspired a little girl, or you inspired Beyonce, at the end of the day, you're an inspiration out in these streets. And you got to take that and put that out in the universe and be willing to receive the energy that comes back from it. Not always the credit and not always the financial aspect of it. So I just felt like Kelis probably should have humbled herself, because Beyonce paying tribute to her, that's super. Like, I'm trying to tell y'all again, if Beyonce ever at me, ever, I'm not even, I do like Beyonce, I'm not gonna lie. But I'm not like Beehive or anything. I'm not that crazy. I do like Beyonce. I respect her as an entertainer. And her CD, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. It goes hard in the gym. Like, it just does everything you need it to do when you working out. When you pushing them weights, you just want to be like, move, get out the way. I actually did that in Planet Fitness and got some looks. So I'm probably not gonna be paying that song, but yeah. Yes, that was my life lesson. Humble yourself. Humble yourself.
Yeah. This is another thing that artists had to deal with was, like, I guess because I'm not team anybody, but I just like to look at it from all different sides of the equation. But, like, if it is true that Kelis had a lot of the creative, or was a part of a lot of the creative process behind the actual song, and she didn't get any kind of credit for it, that's kind of fucked up. But a lot of people got fucked over in that time period anyway, because contracts were shit. And I would just, now going forward, if you're an artist, just make sure that you're covered in all aspects, business wise.
This is a rabbit hole, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna bring it up briefly. But, like, where does my creativity begin and end, right? Because, like, we laugh and make a lot of jokes over the Marvin Gaye family and how, the memes, they're listening with the stethoscope and all that other stuff to, see if somebody's going to sample their father's music. But, like, at one point, does one person's creativity end and begin? And I think that that's a slippery slope. Like, I really think it's slippery, because how you gonna tell me, like, I don't know, a beat, right? I'm gonna take go-go because everybody knows the bass line of go-go. Boom, 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 boom. Like, that's go-go, right? So can someone now say that that's mine, right? It's a whole genre of music based off that beat, based off that drum line. Can someone, and I know that we all say that, now I can't think of his name, but the father of go-go, right? Okay, cool. He gets attributed as the father. But, like, now does his family come and say every beat like that is his? Like, that's crazy. So I don't know. I feel like there's enough money, y'all. Like there is no lack. So we can all eat. So this is a weird concept for me.
Yeah, the only difference between like, I guess Marvin Gaye's era of music and like our era of music is that a lot of their music was more instrumental. So they actually made the music, but I don't know how that worked out with Marvin Gaye. Was he actually an instrumentalist? I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
So yeah, that makes no sense to me. If he like who produced his stuff, I guess he got credits on everything.
Girl, it's like somebody coming in and now I think you can't attribute it to one person, but that's somebody coming in and telling everybody, oh, you can't do a sun salutation anymore. That's mine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is what? And so any type of series that you put together as a yoga instructor, you weren't the first person to do that, I'm sure. So now I credit to the first person that did it every time I do it.
Right.
Nah, I'd never teach yoga again.
Oh, girl, that's another rabbit hole. I ain't even gonna say nothing else about that because we'll be here all day.
See?
And we got stuff to talk about today.
We got stuff to talk about.
All right, so what's next? Because this was your subject, and I just want you to kind of dive into it.
I found out over the last 2 weeks that men not only have sex with women they don't like, they have sex with women they aren't attracted to, but these same men are also lonely. Someone make it make sense.
Girl, I'm guessing this has to do, that second one where they're lonely has to do with the whole conversation around a lot of men, like, I don't know if they want relationships or they want all the relationship benefits without being in one. They love situationships, but they don't want to be like committed to one person, but they want you not to be talking to anybody else. Like, it's so in that case, women are just like, I don't want to do anything. And then men are like, we're lonely. Y'all come back. And we like, no.
And now they are so it came from there's a Psychology Today article floating around the internet from I don't know who is the author actually. But anyway,
It says reviewed by Hara Estraf Morano.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna go with that.
Okay. Okay. So anyway, just please understand when you read this Psychology Today article, this is a psychologist, because you have to be a psychologist to submit to Psychology Today. But this is a psychology that has read a study, a previous study, and now this is his or her take on it, right? Doesn't mean it's true, doesn't mean that it makes sense. This is his or her take. Yeah. And it might be worth your time if you really, really care. The study is called Loneliness Around the World, Age, Gender, and Cultural Differences in Loneliness. And it was done the study was put out last year in 2021 by Manuela Barreto and Pamela Qualter. So it might be worth your time if you're any type of science or statistic person. It might be worth your time to look at the actual article, because some people are saying that this Psychology Today take is a little bit of clickbait. It's not necessarily there are facts that the person has represented, or there's data that the person has represented, but it's not necessarily this is someone's take. That's all I'm gonna say. Having done extensive research before, I know that research can be kind of manipulated to say what you want it to say. So I'm gonna just leave it at that, because I don't understand how y'all are lonely but still having sex with women y'all don't like or not even attracted to. And, oh, my bad. I guess sex is just sex with men. I don't know. It just seems like a lot of work.
It is.
Thank God for roses.
Oh my gosh. It could also deal with a lot of the misogynistic views of relationships that men have, and they don't want to kind of put that aside because women aren't the same as they were a long time ago. I, that's just a guess what might be happening, but we ain't going into that.
Make it make sense.
We're not. Yeah.
What we talking about today, friend?
All right. So since we are going on a break, and we both rebranding and all this stuff, so with all the changes going on, we tired, y'all. We just a little bit tired. Just a little bit. So we are taking about a month off to rebrand and plan for our next season and plan for our day of rest, as we said before. And we know that rest is important for all of us. And that's what we're talking about today. Different types of rest. We always say that sleeping is not the only form of rest. There are other ways to rest, just like there are other forms of self-care other than bubble baths. The same goes with rest.
Same goes with rest. How do you define rest, Kiki? I'm going to tell you. Merriam-Webster defines rest as to get rest by lying down, especially sleep. To lie dead.
We're gonna exclude that one. We haven't tried to lie dead yet.
Miriam, we gotta talk, friend. To cease from action or motion, to refrain from labor or exertion, to be free from anxiety or disturbance, or to sit or lie fixed or supported, a column rests on its pedestal. I like that one. I want a pedestal so I can just rest.
Okay, queen.
And then dictionary.com defines rest as the refreshing quiet or repose of sleep, refreshing ease or inactivity after exertion or labor. And that's also what I like to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So is rest the same as sleep?
No. I'm sorry. No. Go and read it, friend.
The short answer is no. According to Advent Health, while quality sleep is critical to feeling whole, rest is so much more than your nightly hours of shut-eye. So rest includes your whole being, not just your body. With complete and regular rest, you will restore your health, enhance your performance, and achieve an amazing sense of wellness. So many small but impactful bouts of rest can be incorporated into your everyday routine. And according to sleepassociation.org, resting people might recline and close their eyes, control their breathing, or meditate. However, rest differs from sleep since resting people remain conscious and aware of their surroundings the whole time. In addition, most of the hormonal changes that mark sleep are absent if you're just resting. So, when you rest, your body relaxes and it undergoes some changes that sleep brings. It's typical for a resting person's heart rate and respiration to slow down somewhat and have a slight drop in blood pressure and also other vital signs. While your muscles may get downtime to repair themselves, rest periods usually aren't long enough or deep enough to fully restore them the way an entire night of sleep can. So that's just a little bit on how rest and sleep differ, but they also complement each other.
Yeah. Like I have to have downtime before I fall asleep, or yes, I wake up exhausted. And what I typically do is I'm laying in my bed listening to my R&B. Why is 90s R&B so good? 90s and 2000s? Like I don't even care about R&B of this day, but like when I want to relax and chill, I straight up put on some 2000s, some 2000s R&B. And yeah, I don't know, y'all. 2000s R&B was just it.
That's because we grew up on that, or that's our era of music. Because I'm pretty sure all the people now will be like, "Oh, my God, it's not good, not good."
Listen, the man is not in the desert yelling, "Baby, I'm begging, baby, I'm begging, begging, baby." I don't think
if they So there was a thing that Kevin on Stage did a couple years ago where he was talking about R&B songs, especially 90s R&B, where if they didn't really have the nay who in it, you know, when they start the song off with nay who, you know, or either they have it somewhere in the middle of the song, most likely the bridge probably. But if they didn't have that, it wasn't an R&B song and it won't be good. But if they had it in there, it's gonna be fantastic. Okay.
Gonna be fire. Gonna be fire. So listen, friend, what are the different types of rest? There are seven different types of rest according to Dr. Sandra Dalton Smith. I think she's my aunt. But anyway, according to her, she's a certified internal medicine physician. And she's a Black woman. I told you I think this is my aunt. Like, I promise. If she got freckles, that's my aunt. We're gonna let it go. I'm just gonna go ahead and take it. Anyway, so 7 types of rest. The first, and this is what Kiki and I do so well, but physical rest. There's active physical rest and passive physical rest. In active, you have things like yoga, stretching, massages, facials, because there's still some movement involved. And in massages and facial, your body parts or your muscles are being moved, but there's still movement involved. And then passive rest is like sleeping or napping or just lying still. When performing physical rest, you want to pay attention to body aches and pains, swelling in the legs and feet after sitting for long periods of time. Or, as you guys know, I used to train a football team, or I used to work with a football team. And so I was their physical or their active rest. So they did yoga with me on their rest day. So it became an active rest. So, you know, on film days or whatever, it came to see the yoga lady first. It's important for athletes to have an active rest day. Some athletes have a hard time just coming to a complete stop. So an active rest is very helpful. Active rest is very helpful in your off season, because you don't want to let a lot of movement and a lot of athleticism is muscle memory. So your muscles got to remember to move. So active rest and yoga comes in quite handy. Holla at me. Look me up. I'm here for your team.
She's here for your team, for all of you athletes out there.
I'm here for your team. Let's go.
I'm not athletic, so don't come to me. I'll teach you some yoga, but I can't tell you all the other stuff she's talking about. So the second type of rest is sensory rest. So y'all know that we have so much stimuli on a daily basis. So all the sounds and sights around us, it grabs our attention all the time. And we automatically or kind of subconsciously respond to everything. So, you know, notifications on our phones, emails, social media, messages, all the bright lights from all of the devices that we use. Also distracting noises. So it can be cars in the background, your kids playing while you're trying to work, overhearing coworkers' conversations or anybody's conversations for that matter. All of these things, they stimulate your senses. So when you actually need sensory rest, I want you to pay attention to when you have feelings of agitation or irritation, rage or anger. You may start the day feeling great and then later notice that these feelings are coming up towards the end of that day.
I'll never forget. I went to college here in North Carolina. I went to the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. And so lived on campus. On campus has its own, you know, hum and noise to it, right? Then me and my roommates, we moved off campus. We were living in Durham, but at this point where we lived in Durham was fairly quiet. So I remember the adjustment of trying to sleep because, you know, I went from the dorm to an apartment, but I still lived in North Carolina. My first apartment when I moved to the DC area after graduation, I lived near a fire station. It's nothing like being woken up in the middle of the night, in the middle of your good sleep, from a fire truck going to respond to a call. So there was a fire truck on my right side and an emergency room on my left. So either way, somebody was coming or going.
Sirens
Oh
everywhere.
my, always. So that first week I was like, I made the hugest mistake. Can I get out of this lease? Can I go? I was miserable. But y'all, so then that next year when my lease was up, I was out. And I moved to a quiet part of Maryland. Shit. I couldn't sleep because there was no.
It's amazing what you get used to, right?
Oh my God. So that, and it's funny because now I don't know, I think, or someone's told me I'm a dopamine junkie. Now, like, if it's too quiet, I'm not going to sleep. But I do appreciate my quiet. Don't get me wrong. But like now I sleep with like white noise. It's just who I am. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Excuse me. I also think about like, people who suffer from things like migraines. They need a lot of sensory rest,
Mm-hmm.
especially when that's going on, because they're very sensitive to sound and light and anything that can like trigger more pain for their migraines. I used to have some migraines, a few back in the day, and it was definitely not fun. So like that's why you hear a lot of people that go into a room with all the lights off if they have a migraine. They turn their phones off, like they're not really dealing with people because they actually have to have that sensory rest. That's what came to mind when I read that this was about sensory rest, was migraines and people who are sensitive to the sounds and the lights around them during that time.
Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. The next form of rest is a creative rest, and that is allowing yourself to appreciate beauty in any form, natural beauty or creative beauty. Do y'all, or is it just me? Do y'all ever be like, I want to go to a museum? Or by museum, I mean like an art museum, or do you want to see an art show or something like that? Or not just art, like dancing, because there's all sorts of things that help you be creative, but like taking a time to be creative, create with your hands, learn a dance or do a dance, make a dance. That's why I think that all these people, that's why I think the TikTok blows up, because it gives people, in a way, a creative outlet.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is your creative rest. When you might need a creative rest is when you're having a hard time being innovative, when you're having a hard time brainstorming or problem solving. This I've noticed for myself on my job. When I'm having a hard time problem solving on my job, I recognize that I haven't had a creative outlet in several days. There you go. That's what I offer y'all.
Gotcha. So one of the examples that the article gave, and I'm gonna link this article in the show notes, the description, all of that good stuff.
Because
But
that's what it does.
all right. So our next form of rest is spiritual rest. Spiritual rest. So this is when you feel the need to belong, or to feel as if your work or your efforts make a difference, or they contribute to the greater good. So you'll know when you need spiritual rest if you are feeling like your efforts are pointless. So whether you feel like you give your all or nothing, your efforts still won't make a difference. An example is when you find yourself kind of going through the day-to-day process of just going to work and going home. So you may just be going to work for a paycheck and you're not feeling like your work is helpful or beneficial to others or anything. That's when you know you need a spiritual rest, because you're not really fulfilling what you're supposed to be fulfilling, I guess. You don't feel like you belong. You don't feel like your work is making a difference. It's not helping humanity in any kind of way.
Spiritual rest. And we're going to mention this again later, but an example for me for spiritual rest, when I know I need to like sit my behind down, is when I feel grrr with like everybody, right? my mama getting on my nerves, my daddy getting on my nerves, Kiki getting on my nerves, just everybody getting on my nerves. I know I need to sit down and I need some type of rest. And, it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm sleepy or tired. It just might mean I need to take a step back, do some musan, some praying, maybe some meditation. That's when I know I need a spiritual rest.
Mm-hmm. I think when I need spiritual rest, it's kind of like the example was, where you just kind of feel like you're just coasting through and you're not really challenging yourself. You're not really doing anything. And I find that I get into this kind of funk where I'm not really fighting back, like trying to get out of it. That's when I know I need a spiritual rest. Like I'm not fully there. I'm not fully in the moment. I'm not fully into my passions and my dreams. I'm just kind of there, just kind of coasting. That's when I know my spirit is tired and I'm not even trying to fight back anymore. I'm just kind of like, fuck this shit. And I keep going, distracting myself with things.
Major, friends, major. Next would be emotional rest. Emotional rest may occur when you are feeling like you're not able to truly express how you're feeling, or feeling like you always have to keep your emotions in check. And so you may notice that you need an emotional rest when you feel like you're carrying emotional baggage, or you're not sharing with people how you're actually feeling, like you're hiding your feelings. Or again, like I said, in spiritual rest, for me, when that man keep arguing with me, and I just feel like I need to take an emotional break from him. I need an emotional break. Yep. Cause he just, and it's probably me. It's probably me. Truthfully, it's probably me. So when he be like, I don't understand what it is you want. How can I make you happy in this moment? And when I don't have an answer,
yeah, you need a little bit of emotional break then. I feel like people experience this more than they think, because a lot of people, especially when we going through the day-to-day thing of how are you, that simple phrase, a lot of people hold back. They don't feel like they can express themselves. And it could be that it's not around someone who makes them feel safe, but also like, why do we keep going through this thing every day where people say, how are you? And you're like, oh, I'm fine. And you're really not fine. Like, why do you do that? Is that a sign of emotional, is that a sign that you need emotional rest? Is it because you don't like this person, which is very understandable? Is it because you just don't feel like anyone cares or anyone will want to hear you express your emotions in the moment?
I struggle with this one a lot, actually. Having spent a lot of time in like an urban area, when I first moved back to North Carolina, I was running into people. They'd be like, hi, how are you? And I'm like, I didn't really know what to say. And then someone explained, and then I recognized, I was like, oh, it's like a greeting. So I just be like, fine, how are you? Right? Like, no, I'm not fine. But I just recognize it as a greeting. And then someone stopped me one day and they were like, literally, when I ask you, how are you? I expect an answer. My issue with that, though, is if you are not in my safe space, I'm not finna tell you nothing as a private person. So I hate, how are you? So I truly in greetings only ask, how are you? Either because you asked me first and it seems, or I ask someone that I really want to know how they're doing. But you won't see me just randomly be like, hey, how are you? Because no, I think it's a dumb greeting.
You're right. And that's what I meant, was like, if you're in the presence of someone who is your safe space and you're saying, how are you? And you're not actually telling them how you feel, what's up then? That's when that red flag goes up, like, what's going on? And most of the time, people that care about you and kind of know know how you are on a daily basis, they can tell when something's wrong. So don't be in that moment. If they ask you, like you said, if someone actually says, no, really, how are you? If you are still hesitating in that moment, that might be a sign that you need some emotional rest because you're not letting it out the way you're supposed to. All right. So next is social rest. So spend time with people whose presence you enjoy, who don't actually need anything from you. So we know that everyone around us takes from our social energy every day. Our spouses, our significant others, kids, employers, coworkers, friends, family, and the list goes on and on. So you know when you need a social rest when you say to yourself, can I just have a moment for me? So I know for parents and people who have permanent people around for a while, you can also ask how you can include others to help pour back into you. So how can you include your kids in certain things in order to do things that pour back into you? Well, how can you
Listen, as the introvert room, as one of the introverts in the room, the thought of having someone else when I need a reset, when my social battery is low, I don't want to be bothered. Kids? You want to have kids?
Well, this is not for you because you ain't got kids right now. We talking about people who got
kids. Shut up then,
because they can't get away from them right now. They might not be able to get away from them at that moment.
You're right, friend. It's not for me. That sounds like torture.
It does. Now look, because I'm not a mother, I can't tell you what to do. But when I think about how can you include your kids on something that makes you that pours back into you, I don't know. Y'all get together and make some cupcakes, make some cookies or something, and y'all just like, I don't know, laugh and all that stuff, and then eat all you want afterwards.
When you need that you break, this is when you send them kids outside.
Yeah,
with daddies or uncles.
Outside. These kids don't know what outside is.
You got to send them outside so you can have listen, I need a whole moment to myself with no voice. That works for me, right? And so if I had kids, that would be my only thing. It'd be like, go outside and play 20 minutes and I'm going to lock all the doors and give myself the 20 minutes. They can't come in.
Mommy, are you okay?
Nope. That or they get melatonin gummies every night at 7.
Ooh.
So they can be out by 8.
Oh my God. She didn't mean that, y'all. She didn't mean that. But I guess she did.
I only got that from my friends with kids with melatonin gummies. That's all I'm saying.
But if you use them a lot, then they're gonna build a tolerance. Then you're gonna have to figure out something else.
This is why kids.
All right. So, like we said, social rest is basically you don't be around people. If you have to be around people who don't need anything from you. Be around people who don't take nothing from you or who don't demand a lot of stuff from you. If you have a friend, like a best friend that allows you to come to their house and y'all just sit there and watch TV in silence and then y'all go to sleep or whatever, take a nap, go. I said that because I used to do that with my best friend a long time ago. Yeah, literally go to the house and watch something and we just like chill, literally chill. She didn't require me to say anything.
That's the same thing with my best friends. That's how I know that we are friends, because if I can just come over and nap and you don't expect nothing, you don't feel some type of way when I wake up, I'm never letting you go. So
I'll never let you go.
I'm not sure if that's a real song, but it is today. So the final one is mental rest. Mental rest. Unplug from all the damn devices. Meditation can be mental rest. Breath work. If you feel like your mind is racing, especially like if you're supposed to be sleeping, or if you're me, when your mind starts racing in the middle of a meeting, you're on the Zoom and you can't pay attention and you have no idea what they just said because your mind's racing, that means you need a mental break. Get up from the desk and go for a walk. Um, so when your mind is racing, or when you can't remember simple things like grocery list or what I walked into this room for.
Mm-hmm. Oh, girl, it gets worse as you get older.
Stop it! We said that we weren't going to say that.
Now that one is the truth. You can walk into a room and be like, what the hell did I come in here for? And then you literally have to walk out of the room, walk around and come back in. I'm sorry, go ahead, friend.
Yeah, when you can't remember, when those type of things are happening, perhaps you need a mental rest. Take a break, friend. Take a break.
Oh my gosh. And if you have mental health days at work, take them.
Take them.
Or sick days, you know. You can still use your sick days. Please take time to rest, because we express to y'all all the time, these jobs don't care about nothing about you. So
they don't care.
I'm gonna need you to take all the breaks that you can. Speaking of, I have to take my vacation and I really don't know what I'm gonna do. It might be a staycation where I stay home and do nothing.
When's your break? Or when are you taking your break?
I don't know.
No. My job is gonna be on breaks the last week of September. So
we don't have those breaks, honey. So I don't know.
I was thinking if we could go on vacation, go take a trip, do something.
I mean, we can. We just gotta plan it.
Okay.
So yeah, mental rest. Take your mental rest, please. If you can't remember stuff. It's like that. What was that thing with Sesame Street with the little girl and her mom, and she was like trying to remember. She was like, "I need you to go to the store and get butter, milk, and eggs," and she said it all the way to the store and almost forgot it when she was in the store. If you can't remember those 3 things when you go to the store, you need a mental break or a list.
Don't be afraid of a list for us whose minds work a little bit faster than everyone else's.
Yeah.
So. With that said, y'all, we are going to take care, sis. It's been to take a rest. We would not be a self-care podcast if we did not take our own advice and take some time off to rest and regroup and come back stronger. So we're going to take about a month off, and then we will come back. And we come back, we'll have absolutely all the details about our day of rest in October. But if y'all see some reels or some advertising about it in the meantime, just go and buy your ticket. But yeah, we'll have all the information and all the details when we come back in a month. 1 month. Also, how much for you to catch up. Huh?
So you never know how much space we have for this event. So go ahead and get your ticket and see it.
Get your ticket quick.
All right, so that's our episode, y'all. We encourage y'all to take part in all of these types of rests, all of them. And if you got to take a sick day for each one, go ahead. Go and take a whole day for creative rest, for some sensory rest. Go and sit in the bed all day and don't do nothing.
I'm baffled when people be like, "Oh, I have this many," and it's some exorbitant amount of number of hours worth of such and such leave to roll over to next year. Listen, the only thing I will ever have to roll over to the next year is probably nothing. I'm finna take my personal days. I'm finna take my sick days. And I'm damn sure gonna take my vacation days. I'm not rolling nothing over to the next year, friend.
Well, I don't have the privilege of having rollover, so I have to use my shit this year. So
you're welcome.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to use it. So we encourage y'all to use all of these, and let us know what methods you usually use to rest other than sleep, because we know that we all need sleep. That's a given. But what really works for you? We know that we're all different. Some of us are creators all the time, so creative rest is needed. Some people have to be social all the time, so of course they need to be away from people. Some people just introverts and need social rest. We all need mental rest. And if your spirit is tired, please take that spiritual rest. Please,
Take
please.
your break.
Yes, take your break. All right. So y'all know where to find us. We are Take Care Sis Pod everywhere on Instagram and Facebook for now, because when we come back, we might be on the tubes, the YouTubes, might be. But yeah, just prepare for that. So what?
So we're gonna be on the YouTube.
Okay, we're gonna be on the YouTubes. Y'all heard it from friend first. Y'all go follow us and interact with us. Like she said, we'll still be doing reels and stuff, just engaging with y'all, and y'all see some funny stuff from us because that's what we do.
We're hilarious.
And on this break, y'all, like I said, we're still gonna be re-releasing a few of our favorite episodes. So go listen to them again, and you still have time to share this podcast. You still have time to rate and review. You still have time to tell your friends about it, so that when we come back stronger with more people, and we grow our family, because that's what we're gonna be. The Take Care Sis podcast family. Family, the podcast family. Family.
I need some rest.
We all need some rest. I'm over here singing the Proud Family
I know.
song.
And in my head, I'm trying to remember, was that 90s or 2000s?
I think it was 2000.
See, everything about the 2000s was better.
Yeah, I think that cartoon came out in 2000s, if I'm not mistaken, because I don't think they were out in the 90s. But yeah, that was Beyonce. Well, that was Solange and Beyonce.
2000s, because Solange was probably born in the 90s. And then,
yeah, she probably was.
Yeah. So,
but anyway, y'all, that's our episode. We love y'all so much, and we just want to remind y'all to always take care of yourselves. Take care, sis. Take care, bro. We hoping for y'all, bring y'all husbands in, because they need to hear some of this stuff too. We know men, they be the last ones trying to take care of themselves.
The last ones.
Yeah.
But always trying to take care of you.
Mm-hmm. All right, sis. Until the next time, I want you to take care of yourself. Of course, we'll be talking, but literally every week, I'm still going to be asking you to take care of yourself, okay?
And literally every week, I'm going to be asking you, how's your ankle?
Forget you. I'm just hopping around, okay?
I'm going to be asking you, how are you for real and mean it?
Okay. And I will tell you exactly.
Okay, great.
All right. So we'll talk to y'all in a few weeks. All right.
Bye.
Bye, y'all. Love y'all.
Yeah.